Gautier, are you looking forward to the big jumps of this Thai track again this year?
I mean, now this year it's a little easier, so many riders does it. Last year was more tough to jump it and to get the corner right after. Now we can actually jump and turn on the inside. But still, you know, here it's not so hot like last year, and the track is nice, so I look forward to have a good race, good qualifying, and to do it good tomorrow.
In the free practice, your times were a little bit maybe slower than we expected. Are you just conserving some of that energy now for the qualifying race?
I mean, I have energy, just I struggle. I had some riders on front of on my lap, but still, you know, I feel good on the back, so I'm used to sometimes doesn't do so good lap time, but still I like to race, so now we're gonna have the race.
Thanks, Gautier. Enjoy it out there. Right, let's see the MXGP qualifying race.
The Suzukis of Kevin Strybos and Clement de Sal were fastest in their free practice and time training session. And once again, the Suzukis were fast starting from the right-hand side as we look at it, but Tony Cairoli swept around the outside, and it was him who led coming out of turn 2. Looking on board here as we head up the start straight. Tony Cairoli just putting the squeeze on the Suzukis going into turn 1. There you see him breaking the line, picking up the whole shot, and then dropping down the hill. That's the big monster double jump in the centre of the field that we were all talking about, but it was Tony Cairoli who led from the very first lap on the Red Bull Factory KTM. Clement de Sal tried to go with him, though, on the number 25 Rockstar Energy Suzuki. And those two started to pull away from the rest of the field. Kevin Strybos made a mistake on the opening lap, handing third to the number 89 there on the factory Yamaha. Sean Simpson on the HM Plant KTM was behind in 4th place with Mattis Caro in the early stages, as the Kawasaki's of Stephen Frossard on the 183, Tommy Searle 100 and Gautier Paulin all had to recover from bad starts. But Tony Cairoli, though, was invincible, was on form, and he extended his lead to more than 11 seconds by the time the checkered flag fell. But behind him, Clement de Sal was a comfortable 2nd, Van Horbig 3rd, in what was a fairly static qualifying race in the end. Simpson and Tommy Searle had their own battle in the closing stages of the race, battling for that 4th position. Tommy Searle coming home in 5th ahead of Frossard and Paulin. Strybos eventually recovered to 8th. Ranieri was 9th, and Joel Roulants on the JRS Honda was in 10th position. But no one was a match for Antonio Cairoli, answering his critics a week after his 3rd overall in Qatar 1 week ago. Slightly cooler conditions to what we had in 2013, but still the circuit starting to rough up nicely as we head into the main event on Sunday.
Tony Cairoli, you fired out that starting gate and really took control of the qualifying race.
Yes, you know, it's important to get a good start always, because everybody in front have good speed. So, like, if you have a bad start, it's difficult to come through the pack. So I feel better also with my ankle. That's a big thing for me. I feel more comfortable with riding. So I was focused on the start and made a good start. Now tomorrow we will see. You know, the race is different. My ankle, it feels better than last week, but it's still not 100%. And also my physical condition, like, it's not at the top. And here it's also very hot. So I don't know what to expect for tomorrow, but for sure for me it's really important to finish on the podium again.
Tony Cairoli then wins his first qualifying of the season, and we'll go to the line first on Sunday.
The heat has been cranked up this week as the entire paddock arrived in Thailand for round 2. So let's see how some of our MX2 riders are coping ahead of qualifying. Let's have a word with Valentin Guyot first, our European 250 champion from last year. Valentin, it's the first time on this track for you. You had a little crash earlier this morning?
Yeah, at the first practice I get a big crash. I was knocked out. I sideways in the wave section, and I hit the ground very hard with my head.
Jeffrey Hurlings was fastest in the morning warm-up and also the time training session. But Arnold Toner, Dylan Ferranis and the rest will be looking to try to steal a march on Jeffrey Hurlings, who didn't get off to the best possible start despite winning the overall last week in Qatar. It wasn't a dominant display from the defending world champion, but it was Dylan Ferrandis who took the whole shot in this qualifying race on that 122 CLS Kawasaki Monster Energy machine. Behind him was Glenn Coldenhoff. Hurlings was in there in third, with Fevre in around about fourth position. Max Anstey was well placed as well in sixth on the bike at Cosworth Yamaha. Riders who went down on the first lap included Jose Boutron, Christophe Charlier, Thomas Covington and Tim Geiser. So they had a lot of work to do. Of course, Thomas Covington, the guy who finished third in the second moto in Qatar. As the race went on though, Dylan Ferrandis was doing a great job of leading what was a 13-lap affair. Jeffrey Hurlings though was struggling to find a way past Glenn Coldenhoff, his fellow countryman. Coldenhoff hanging on for second on the Rockstar Energy Suzuki Europe machine. Arnold Tonus started in seventh, and that's where he would stay for the whole 13 laps in this qualifier. But Jeffrey Hurlings, as we said, eventually found a way past his fellow countryman as the number 67, Manny Klingsheim, went out, eventually coming home in 25th place. But Dylan Ferrandis was in control despite Hurlings all over the back of him in the closing stage, and it was Ferrandis who went on to take the win in the qualifying race.
There were some extremely close moments in that last lap with Jeffrey, but are you happy how the race went?
Yeah, I'm so happy because I make a hard shot, and when you make a hard shot, it's always better. And I just make a little mistake after the gate, and I go on the 2 KTM, so I'm sorry for that. And after was really hard. The 3 last lap was really hard because here it's so hot, and Erling comes on me in the 2 last lap, and he passed me, and I don't know, he don't jump a little double, and I jump and I pass him, so I was so happy. It was crazy. We make a big battle, and I think tomorrow with 2 good starts can make a good race, and we can make a good fight.
Dylan Ferrandis then takes pole position from Jeffrey Hurlings, Coldenhoff third, with Tixier and Anstey rounding out the top 5.